United Way wouldn't give them no money anymore. And now, as of 2016, June 2016, they got this crazy transgender bullshit thing of where if a school decides to say, because you think you're a boy, you can't go into the girls' shower room, they take away their 501c3 grant. They take away all the government goodies. Man, I tell you what, man, I thank my maker that I was given a voice and that I would use that voice towards pointing out things that are far worse than my inequities. Let me tell you something. Don't for 1 minute think that I am somebody special, that I am more perfect than anybody else. But when I see things that are far worse than my personal sins, it is a grievous sin. Of course, the Bible bangers are not going to tell you that. We all are going to be judged on. People think, well, it's a great big crime you're going to be judged on. Nah. You're going to be judged when you witness something and you knew that other people were suffering and you chose not to do a motherfucking thing about it. Well, I'll tell you what, man, I'm scared of death. I'm scared of pain, but I'll be goddamn. I'm going on 66 years old. I'll be goddamn if I'm going to look the other way and keep my mouth shut. There are people right now I know that are in the fucking graveyard right now. And they didn't think, see, we don't know when we're going to go. I could be going down the road on my bike and be hit. But, and I'm going to tell you something. I'm scared of death. I'm scared of pain. But I'll tell you what. In my good consciousness, I cannot look the other way and allow my fellow Americans to be suffering. Just like they have violence on TV. That's designed to keep the fucking jails going. Keep the prisons going. Just like they have violence on video games. They have it in movies. People can't figure this shit out. If you see something on TV, automatically people are more likely to do it.
Let's talk about the fucking soaps. You want to talk about something that makes me want to break a fucking TV? My TV? If I accidentally fucking turn it to a soap where it teaches kids from an early age not about how to get along with people, but constant conflict, constant bickering, constant fighting. Who's fucking around on who? Nobody tries to get along with people. So at an early age, kids are taught that life is one conflict after another. It's not about trying to get along with people. It's about starting shit. So they learn at an early age through TV and these goddamn soaps that harmony is not what life is about. It's about starting shit, stirring shit.
So the thing is, this is just like people, they're addicted to fucking noisy ass motherfucking things. Think of how many people have got what's disguised. They're actually audio war weapons that are called home theater systems. They have these low frequency systems, low frequency subwoofers that you can barely hear, but it irritates the shit out of everybody. You've got people that will take it on purpose. They'll have loud exhaust on their vehicles because they know they're going to irritate people. And yet these motherfuckers, when they go to sleep, they don't want nobody disturbing their fucking sleep. They don't want anybody disturbing their comfort. And then when a person goes, just like recently, I complained about a business that had a fucking boom car that I could have heard across the 4-lane highway. I heard it across the 4-lane highway, and a business across the motherfucking street. The cops weren't there. All of a sudden they figure out, even though they weren't there, they're going to figure out who to put the charges on. See, and the cops, what they do, they don't go on who's right or who's wrong. They go on who's got the most gold, and then they decide the fucking rules. If you want to do.
Now, let's go through just some of the dirty cop tricks that I have had experienced. Dispatchers will claim, oh, they're too busy. Gee whiz. How come they can't do anything about these fucking boom cars and I'd have to call in the first place? The cops, they just tax the crime. They don't want to get rid of the crime because the crime, they can make money taxing the criminals. And then they can also make money off the people that the criminals irritate and cause them to go to jail under the cop's trap. And then the cop claims a bad fucking memory. What the fuck is he doing on the cops force? This guy named John. Oh, they'll claim, well, it's a Supreme Court case. Well, then name me the fucking case. They can't even do it. They're fucking lying. Or they'll say, why don't you do this? Instead of them doing a motherfucking thing. I'd like to see it where anytime anybody in the state, they say, why don't you do this? And they don't try to help you out. They're automatically fired. They're prosecuted for all their back pay and everything like that. And then, even though the dispatchers are more aware of the number of ambulance and fire department people that they send out, and they won't even do anything to fucking protect them. January 2016 was a bullshit thing called watch out for our fucking responders. In one ear, out the motherfucking other. And then you think about the number of innocent people that have been that became pawns for the cops and the boom cars. And then they got arrested and thrown in jail. And either they're either paying a fine right now, or they're in jail, or they're in prison, or they're on probation. And these motherfuckers don't know that they were actually fucking set up for this fucking shit. That's called entrapment, cop entrapment, 777-201 Florida statutes, which is, now we've got, the cops will actually fucking declare themselves as motherfucking victims. Yeah. I've seen this fucking shit before. So maybe the state's attorney's office, they declare them a victim, so now they're getting money there. See, here's another thing. If there's two people and they're having a problem, if there's neighbors that are each other's throats, they're going to look and see, I wonder how many domestic violence things have been because of these boom cars. Well, what they're going to do is they're going to throw the guy in jail. Why are they going to throw the guy in jail? Because now they got a free fuck, man. They know the guy's in jail. They know the guy ain't going to come sneaking when he's down fucking her between her legs. He knows that the guy ain't going to surprise him and fucking blow his fucking head off while he's fucking his old lady. Because he's in fucking jail. And then let's talk about the cops declared themselves victim of fucking lie. And then they'll turn around and claim an investigation fee on top of that. So these are techniques that are used by the cops. Now, the cops weren't there. If the cops weren't there, how the fuck did they decide if the true trouble starter ain't trying to make like they're the victim? Okay, so now we've got something where they wanted me to file a formal complaint. Why? Because then that would expose the person who was complaining about these boom cars. And then there could be retaliation for God knows how many drug dealers. And then another thing is when they know that you're kicking their ass in an argument, they'll take and fucking hang up on you. We could eliminate all boom cars by just putting signs all over the place. Every major intersection, Harrison Avenue, Highway 98, 23rd Street. Turn in a boom car, $100 credit for any future fine, court costs, and then what you do is they say we will arrest the boom cars under 3015 of Florida statutes. We will arrest them under 80610, which is interference the performance and duties of ambulance and fire department people. And then we'll also arrest them under a terrorism statute, 876 in the Florida statutes. And then they're fucking gone. And they know it too. Hey, if signs don't work, why do cops put up fucking signs that say no loitering, no trespassing, no parking signs, if they don't motherfucking work? They don't have to be there. They know it. And then there's signs that go, speeders' fines are doubled if there's a road crew there. Well, they could very easily have signs, boom cars will take away your vehicles forever. So they do work. And then when they know that you are getting the best of the argument, another dirty cop technique is they'll try to talk over you. They'll rudely interrupt you. This is designed to get somebody pissed off, either to hang up or to threaten them. And then what they want to do, another technique is they want to get all your neighbors mad at you. And then that way, hopefully, indirectly, they could have you fucking murdered. Because they get the neighbors pissed off at you. You don't know what's in their fucking mind, even though it's your fucking right. Well, let's talk about indirect murder. I had a fucking guy by the name of Danny Cashmere Pipers pull a fucking knife on me, man. I've got pictures on it. Or you can go to Flickr website. Look under Jimbikeman 2. Right there you can see the pictures where the cops is making sure to have his fucking side written down. I'm the one that went to fucking jail. This guy had a previous arrest of pulling knives on people. And even the sheriff's department didn't even execute a warrant on him. Another dirty technique that they'll do, they'll play fucking dumb to try to get you pissed off, the dispatchers and the cops. Another thing they'll do, they'll accuse you of hollering even though you're not fucking hollering. Another thing they'll do is they say, I can't hear you. And another thing is, anybody in the state will not, it's like they're coached, do not ever admit to an obvious question. And then they'll claim that there's not enough of a description for the boom cars. Or they'll claim that there's, we can't do it, claim incapacity. And they will not make a case on your behalf or call on your behalf. They want you to do all the calling. Then they try to put false harassment charges on you. And they're the ones that are aware of how many emergency vehicles are going out there. So it tells me that these motherfuckers that answer the fucking phone are actually fucking psychopaths. They're sociopaths. They don't give a shit even about their own fellow people that they're putting out in harm's way. How the fuck do you explain that shit?